What's going on? A to Z Sports. We are live for another edition of Titans at 2, powered by Doughbird. Doughbird Pizza and Rotisserie, where you're sure to find flavor located out in Green Hills. They are the go-to spot. If you're looking for a family dinner, a date night, just a time out at the sports bar to go watch the game, go to Doughbird, go check them out. They're making it happen today. Doughbird Pizza and Rotisserie, located in Green Hills. I am Sam Phelan. I am live with A to Z Sports to talk about a big win for the Tennessee Titans in week 4 of the NFL season, flipping the script and the score. 27-3 win. The Titans defeat the Cincinnati Bengals at home yesterday. A huge win for morale, for a fan base, for momentum for this team going forward. And I think a big win for how the Titans proceed throughout the rest of 2023. I think yesterday's win by the Titans was a blueprint for how this team can be at their best and win moving forward. The question: how do they stay consistent and repeat this effort? We have now seen a Titans team through 4 weeks that does a little bit of this, right? We have the low of that New Orleans game and 15 points and a field goal fest and losing that one late, to the highs of a home opener victory and a lot of scoring against the Chargers, to the most embarrassing loss of a while against the Cleveland Browns on the road, and then a 27-3 victory against Cincinnati. So what went right for the Titans yesterday, and how can they repeat this moving forward? As some of you guys file in here on the chat, Miro, what a great victory Monday. Yes, it is. Let's talk some bully ball, says Pistol Ramsey. That's what we're going to do, because we are going to talk about the Titans' run game. They got back to the run game, and the Titans' offensive line answering the bell, answering the call after a lot of noise, a lot of criticism, a really bad performance. They showed up. So here was what Aaron Brewer had to say at the Titans press conference just an hour or so ago, talking to the media about what they did to get ahead and have success on early downs, which then opened up the rest of the playbook.
Just saying it and doing it. What allowed you to have success on the early downs yesterday?
It's just everybody on their job. Like, everybody winning their one-on-ones. Everybody's out there playing fast, flying around, and just being aggressive. And so when everybody win their one-on-ones, I gonna have positive results.
You look at that guy rolling that into further games to be more consistent.
Yeah, I just say, like, seeing what we did that day, like making your gains off the positive things you did. So, like, you seen what worked. So, like, whatever you were doing, like, stay in that mode and keep enhancing whatever you were doing that was working. That's how I feel about it.
So that was Aaron Brewer. You hear him say it was really the one-on-one matchups for the Titans on the offensive line that set the precedent for everything else to go right. And no lie detected there. I mean, Derrick Henry having the game that he did, I'm checking right here. I believe he had 122 yards on the ground, 5.5 yards per carry. Tajay Spears averaged 8 yards per carry. The Titans could run the ball at will yesterday. And when they were able to do that, it opened up the rest of their playbook. We saw at least 3, maybe 4, up to 5 explosive plays through the air on play action passes. That gets set up by the running game, as Mike Vrabel talks about all the time. And we know, right, when you run the ball well, you can run play action a lot better. We saw some third and manageables. I have the numbers right here. This a big key for the Titans. Here's the Titans on third down yesterday against the Bengals. 3rd and 1, 2, 1, 3, 14, 7 and 2. In the second half, it was 3rd and 5, 5, 14, 8, 7, and 4. So that first half that you had all those points being scored, you had 5 3rd and downs of 3 yards or less. 8 of the Titans' 13 third down plays came from 3rd and 5 or less. It's no coincidence that they converted 8 of 13 third downs. That's 61.5%. The league average, usually, like, a good league mark is like 48 to 50%, is like best in the NFL. 61% for the Titans on third down yesterday. we've heard them talk about this, right? How do we stay in third and manageable? Yesterday was the blueprint. Your offensive line wins their one-on-ones. You're able to run the ball with success. You open up play actions. You're efficient, not a ton of pre-snap penalties, and you just allow one play to flow with the other. Mike Vrabel talked at the press conference a couple hours ago as well and reflected on the improvement he saw from his offensive line.
That improvement there.
Yeah, I mean, there were some good finishes. I mean, again, when we took the ball at the end there and were able to run the football and have the clock and run the clock out when they knew we were going to run, I thought that was a good ending to an efficient day on offense. You know, it could go one or two ways, right? 3 plays and punt, and they have to go back there and, you know, play defense probably, you know, going to win the football game, but you're going to have to go and rush and cover them. And, you know, we want to end the game, you know, with the football, and we did that. I thought we protected better. I thought there were a few lapses. You know, I thought, you know, they got us on the 1 3rd down with the TE with the game over there. Brew trying to probably do a little bit too much. You know, he was kind of working to the left side and, you know, came back over to help, and Dylan was going to work back out and kind of gave up a cheap one there. So as long as we just all do our job, I think winning one-on-one in this league will always be something that'll be beneficial.
Winning one-on-one, that Mike Vrabel says it there too. It's easy to have success when your guys block their one-on-one matchups, when your receivers win their one-on-one routes, when there's more separation. Vrabel points to the Titans' ability to run the ball like in that 4th quarter and really ice the game away. But Pistol Ramsey here with a great point, like 10 minutes and 22 seconds is what the Titans took off the clock to open the second half. Because they were able to run the ball. It resulted in a field goal and kind of was a game icer in a lot of ways. And a lot of that credit goes to the offensive line. Pistol Ramsey also says to like the show, which I agree with and fully endorse. So give it a thumbs up. Sin City Titans says, man, we need to win this week because it is a big game for the Titans. They are on the road in Indianapolis coming up next Sunday. I'll have a preview again on Thursday after speaking with offensive coordinator Tim Kelly and defensive coordinator Shane Bowen about what I think this game plan might look like against the Colts. But this is a very unique challenge. Anthony Richardson's ability with his legs and mobility, explosive athlete. How do the Titans handle that? They haven't seen a quarterback like that. And they really took advantage of Joe Burrow's inability to do that. I'm going to talk to you guys about defense because this was a full team win. It's easy to focus on the offense and be like, oh, look, we scored 27 points. Titans fans aren't used to that, so I understand why that would be top of mind. This was a full team win, 3 phases across the board. Hats off to the defense holding the Cincinnati Bengals to 3 points and no explosive plays through the air. We'll talk about how they did it and how they can continue doing it. But first, want to give a lot of love to Doberd. Doberd Pizza and Rotisserie, they bring you a crave-worthy menu with an unexpected yet perfect duo of pizza and rotisserie with offbeat flavor combos made even more delicious when you dunk food into any of the house-made sauces. They always deliver at Doberd on flavor and satisfaction. They're a neighborhood spot where you can get comfortable, savor, and have a fun family dinner any night of the week. You can grab a slice. You can sip on a cocktail at happy hour. You can catch the game at the bar or sneak away for a date night. Doberd has it all. They're located in Green Hills. You might have seen me posted up at Doberd for some of these Titans at 2 shows. It's because the ambiance is exceptional. The background is great. It's a great time to enjoy a game or even go on a date night. If you haven't been there yet, go do it. What are you waiting for? Get to Doberd in Green Hills. Love our friends over at Doberd. Let's kind of shift attention here over to the defense because you know, we did have a lot of defensive effort, and I'm trying to get to some of these comments here. Jay says he likes seeing the pressure go on 3rd down. So, yeah, I mean, the Titans overall, it was hats off to the corners. I mean, the corners really stepped up, again, answering a lot of noise. They've gotten beat for explosive plays over and over and over again, and we know how backbreaking that is for this defense, but they didn't have any through the air, at least yesterday, I don't believe. The Bengals' longest pass play went for 17 yards, so no 20-plus yard plays. You forced them to have some long drives. The pressure got home, got a lot of hits on Joe Burrow that made him uncomfortable. One of them from Travis Gibson resulted in a strip sack and a turnover. All across the board, very good. And I really thought there was an interesting comment from Christian Fulton after the game in the locker room, talking about the secondary, about the defensive effort, and how they were able to limit X plays. He said, look, our coaches told us and showed us some numbers about just how good this defense can be when that is not something we let up and allow.
Limit explosive plays today against an offense that you know can take advantage of it.
Yeah, it was huge for us. We know our coaches showed us a stat. It was like we gave up 17 X plays, and out of 400 snaps or whatever it was we played, that we were pretty good defense. So with us limiting the X plays, we limit those plays. We had a chance, to get off the field early, and get the ball back to the offense. And, it just become complimentary, with us being all together on one page.
How much did you guys take advantage of Burrow's lack of mobility by getting after him up front? And then obviously that makes the receivers have to run shorter routes if you can't get set up and throw deep.
Yeah, it was big for us, we trusted the game plan. That's all it was. The coaches put, the guys up front, in position, to rush the quarterback, which means the guys on the outside, I commend those guys, all being locked in this week, having to be tight in coverage, so that was big for us.
So good stuff from Christian Fulton there. A pretty good bounce back game for him on Sunday after having some issues with getting beat, some busted coverages, mental mistakes, penalties. It's pretty clean, pretty sound game from the Titans secondary. And I like that he said complimentary because it was a lot of complimentary football as a team, but specifically within this defense. You saw how the Titans front four got after Burrow, had hits on Burrow, pressured Burrow, and sped him up. You had Titans corners not getting beat over the top, kind of forcing Joe Burrow to throw some shorter routes. And they didn't have to cover for quite as long because they got good pressure up front. And then you had the linebackers and Azeez Al-Shire flying all over the field, Jack Gibbons dropping back into coverage, and kind of how their speed was able to suffocate the run game and some of the screen game and some of these concepts that the Bengals tried to get after. So Joe Burrow's lack of mobility and his injury and Cincinnati forcing the issue of trying to get the ball out quickly. The Titans came with a really good game plan that they were able to limit things. As Mike Vrabel pointed out here, they ran a couple concepts in their coverages that helped limit X plays. Split safeties, pass rush, getting after the quarterback dictated the lack of X plays. Combos of rush coverage with their tackling. You can't allow Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd to get yards after the catch. And once again, Christian Fulton, Sean Murphy-Bunting, Azeez Al-Shire, great tackling after the catch, which limited those plays. So again, pointing to Indy, interesting to see how they kind of shift this game plan with a guy like Anthony Richardson, who I don't think is a real threat to beat you with like deep balls down the field. They've had some explosive plays through the air on like screen passes to Michael Pittman Jr. And then obviously we know they can run the ball, and Anthony Richardson can run the ball. And if Jonathan Taylor's back, what does that mean for that offense? So the Titans need to kind of shift their identity and game plan once again. And they could potentially get to 3-2. Division is wide open. You are 2-2. Everybody else is 2-2. So this feels like kind of a fresh start for the Titans, where momentum is kind of back on their side. And I think as we can kind of see just from this, the chat here, I can tell from your guys' energy that there's more confidence in the chat and among the fan base. Another spot, there's a fresh start, is on the offensive line. Nicholas Petit-Frere reinstated this week. He is going to be back on the practice field throughout the week and, eligible to play. Whether or not he does, we will see. I'll tell you what Mike Vrabel said about NPF's return. Maybe surprise some people what direction the Titans are going to go on the offensive line now that they have some additional resources available to them. But before I do that, I want to tell you guys about Doughbird Pizza and Rotisserie. Grab a seat at the bar and stay a while at Doughbird's, sipping on inventive craft cocktails made with daily fresh juices and homemade ingredients alongside local beers and a menu of wines to pair with every delicious bite. They've got a happy hour Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. So that starts here in 45 minutes. If you want to still get to Doughbird for happy hour, plenty of time to get your adjust your afternoon plans and get over there. They have deals starting at $5 with half-priced bottles of wine all day on Tuesdays, and a recently announced Bottle and Bird special that features a bottle of wine and a whole rotisserie chicken with 2 sides for $40 if you dine in. Takeout's your style. Family on the fly takeout bundle is great to feed the whole family. They really have it all at Doughbird, so make sure you get out there at Green Hills and check them out. All right, I teased it. The offensive line, Nicholas Petit-Frere, is available for the Titans. NFL shifted their gambling policy, so he can now come back as early as this week because the bet that was placed by Petit-Frere was not a bet on National Football League games. It was a bet that was placed from the team facility, was his violation. And so it was kind of a less severe sentencing for him, if you will. Here's Mike Vrabel on NPF and what they might do at right tackle and left tackle moving forward.
The philosophy on an incumbent coming back when his replacement's done well.
Yeah, I think that's Nick's been away for a little bit. He was with us in training camp. We'll see where things go. Like the way that Chris is playing over there. We'll just see how he looks this week. Yeah, we haven't seen him, for a while since training camp. So the league made a decision on what they felt like they wanted to do, and so we'll hopefully get an exemption for him and practice him and see where he's at as we work closer to the game.
Is it fair to him that they change rules on the fly?
The league does what they want to do.
How's Peter been?
So that's Mike Vrabel. And interesting. So Trey comes in here, says, where do you put NPF with Chris Hubbard playing so well? The vibe I got from Mike Vrabel today was that it is Chris Hubbard's job until further notice. Nicholas Petit-Frere is going to need some time to get back up to speed. The Titans haven't seen him since training camp, really. He hasn't been around. So they have to get him back up to speed, get him on the practice field, see if they can get him game ready and see where he's at when they hit that point. But you heard Mike Vrabel say it. Chris Hubbard has played well. He's liked what he's done. He has singled Chris Hubbard out in the past for being a very good addition to this offensive line, a good leader for this offense, and just being solid. I don't foresee a shift to the left side of the line coming for NPF. I don't anticipate that happening. Could it happen? Maybe. I think he's still going to work at right tackle. So I think for now, he's a rotational piece. I think they're going to get him ready. And until a change needs to be made, the Titans are going to work with what they have on the offensive line. Now, Peter Skoronski could be back in Indy, in which case Peter Skoronski goes to left guard. Dylan Radins also options. But this is a good problem to have, right? If you're a Titans offensive line with the momentum that they kind of seem to have gotten against the Bengals, and now you potentially have Nicholas Petit-Frere and Dylan Radins on the bench as reserves, as guys that can start for you or take over if you do want to make a change with Andre Dillard at left tackle. That's a really, really good problem for the Titans to have. And I see William comes in here wanting to know where Kyle Phillips is. Mike Vrabel said on Friday, we expect to have Kyle Phillips back. So we'll see for sure on Wednesday if he's on the practice field. But the expectation is that Kyle Phillips will be back and active. What does that mean for Mason Kinsey? That's another question. He is signed to the 53-man roster. Vrabel, complimentary of what he's done as punt returner. You've only got so many guys that you can have active on game day. So kind of still testing the waters, seeing how NPF and Peter Skoronski and Kyle Phillips look throughout this week. Developing storylines there as the Titans have a big road game in the division with the Indianapolis Colts, looking to get to 3-2 and keep this momentum going. So this Bengals win, big blueprint for success. If you can win up front, win those one-on-ones and limit X plays, you are going to have a ton of success. And the Titans can be a very good team that competes in the AFC. When they're playing like they were on Sunday, this team can hang around with anybody. Can they beat anybody? I don't know. I think we have to see how they get battle tested later in the year, playing Miami and teams of that caliber. But the Bengals, a team that has had the Titans number and been their kryptonite in recent years, were overmatched in every single facet of the game on Sunday. That's exciting stuff if you're a Tennessee Titans fan. That's all my time today. I will be back on Thursday, like I mentioned, for my game preview of the Titans and Indianapolis Colts in Week 5 after speaking with offensive coordinator Tim Kelly and defensive coordinator Shane Bowen. We're going to get an idea of what this game plan is going to look like for the Titans in Week 5. Look out for Buck Rising on A to Z Sports Primetime tonight. All of my written coverage of the Titans this week on AtoZSports.com, as well as the A to Z Sports Morning Show. Want to give a quick shout out one more time to Dobird for making it happen for me today and powering today's show. Thanks for hanging. See you guys on Thursday. We'll see you.